All right, welcome back, everybody. DwG versus Fenix Fire here, going to map number 2. Fenix Fire was able to pick up the first map, 16-9. That was Cash, their map selection, but they're going to be going on to Mirage, which is DwG's selection. So we'll see what happens here as the pistol round is underway right now. We see one player up at the top of mid, that's Fabian, 2 players in underpass. Looks like it's going to be an A take right now as Bomb is situated in that direction. Silent peeks through the edge of that smoke. He's going to spot out Salmo. That's going to be a big frag as it's going to give all the information to the CTs right now, and it's going to force the execute here. Justin on stairs with that 5-7 takes out Fobless. Robbie 1 in sight, getting into a duel here. Not finding the frag yet, but Fabian, 2 big ones, now 3. Now it's a 1v2. Fabian's going to have to pick up the ace if he wants to get this round. Ellie holding a strong angle. A nade kill comes in for Fabian. Now it's a 1v1. Ellie and Fabian. Ellie peeks. Fabian gets the 4K but gets shut out. Almost pulls off the impossible and getting that 1v2 situation after picking up the first 3 frags. So no ace for Fabian here. That's going to be the first round for Fenix Fire, picking up the pistol. And obviously, if you're on the T side on Mirage, you want to get that pistol round because you're never sure what rounds you're going to be guaranteed. But DwG here going to be on the eco now. Fabian has a lot of money, but he is going to just go for the Glock save. They're going to go for just a pain train with the Glocks over towards B, so no Tech 9 armor buy here for DwG.
Jensen's going to be leading this charge here as we see Ellie and Roberts playing in sight, and Ellie will get the first one. Connects on the 3, actually, as we're going to see Fobless jump down to sight, but he's caught off guard as Roberts is boosted up inside of sight, and only 1 frag on the board for DwG. And a little more to be sought after, as that's not exactly what you were hoping for, especially when, out of all of the players that you run into on the CT side, it's the 2 that only bought pistols.
Yeah, obviously not exactly ideal, and it's going to give a lot of money to the CT side. Not what you want to have happen. Ellie's going to hold on to the 5-7 here, despite the fact that they were able to do massive damage in the last round. I'm assuming they're going to be trying to buy an AWP in round number 4, so maybe trying to save up for that. And obviously, they're going to want to pick up that AWP and give it to Silent. He is the AWPer for Fenix Fire. We saw occasionally another AWP. I think the AWP was actually on Ellie occasionally, but definitely Silent, their main man with the AWP. Adwait's going to get the first 2 jumping out. Justin there with the assists and the 3rd frag as well. Picks up the 5th. Meanwhile, Silent chiming in for the 4th frag on Robbie. A very easy round for Fenix Fire there. A clean sweep as they pick up all 5, not even taking 50 damage between the teams. So very good round from them. But this is going to be the first 5 for DwG, so we'll see what they can do with it. Obviously, they want to pick up the first buy round and make it 3-1. This is their map selection, so I'm curious to see what kind of T side they bring. I get really upset when I see teams pick Mirage, and then they just do default executes the entire time on their T side. I want to see something more, some more unique play. Maybe something like what Mouse Force does, where they actually smoke off all of A site and push right through to vents. That kind of thing is the kind of thing that I think you can do on Mirage. It's a very unique map, but we are going to see just a default execute here, so we'll see what happens here in round number 4.
Yeah, the smoke coming down, that completely cuts off the CTs, as Robbie actually, I think he was blind and fell off the stairs, because otherwise there's no point in him actually pushing through that smoke. So a pick here for the CTs that they probably shouldn't have gotten. Salmo actually picks up 2, so that's crucial frags from him. And the bomb's still not even planted, so Justin and Roberts working from CT. Silent will be able to peek out from connector here. We'll drop that HE grenade into jungle, but now gives away his position. So Salmo looking to get his 3rd frag of the round. Roberts takes down Sin. This is falling apart a little bit for the T's. Again, they still have yet to plant the bomb, as they're still very worried that players at CT spawn, and rightfully so. We see Justin and Roberts still very close there, and now Justin picks off Fobless. So that's a crucial frag as Salmo, he's going to get another one, so a 3K on the round. They suspect that CT spawn should be clear, but it's not, and Salmo goes down. Fabian rather stays alive, gets a nice frag here, but Silent, he's going to peek out and will finish the round, so Fabian with a chance if he landed that AK headshot, but Silent won't drop the round, and that's going to be the 4th here, as DwG looked like a nice take. They had sight control, but they were just way too worried of the retake from Fenix Fire.
It was just a very sloppy round in general. After they got into the site, they picked up 2 really good frags from Salmo's AK. He was just hiding in that smoke over towards jungle, and he picked off those players. He had control of connector. There was 2 players, CT. All they needed was 1 smoke grenade. That was it. They could have shut that down, or they should have just opted to fall back out of sight. Instead, they had player pipe box, a player firebox, and then one over towards jungle. They were just so disconnected, and it was just really terrible post-plant positioning, even if they got the bomb down. So I don't know. It just didn't really come together for DwG there, but they're going to be doing the same thing here, and this is kind of what I was talking about. This is what we see a lot of teams do. They just have their A execute, and they just work it until it doesn't work at all. They're going to drop smokes, one into sight, one CT, one stairs, one jungle, kind of the default right now as they rush out. There's a man in sight behind pipe box. That's Adwait. Doesn't matter. Justin finds the spam. Through the smoke, takes down Robbie. Adwait does peek and gets one. That's Fabian down, finally traded out by Sin. Justin gets another frag on the round, guts 2 more. So Justin picking up the 4K, and that's going to be another round for Fenix Fire. So starting exactly the way DwG did on the last map, but we will see here. This is where Fenix Fire turned it around on cash. We'll see if DwG can do the same thing. They're going to buy up yet again, as they have been getting bomb plants despite the fact that they've been losing rounds. They're going to go for those AKs. I'm kind of curious to see if they're going to make an execute towards B at all.
Yeah, we'll find out, as definitely that A strat not exactly working out, but we did see Justin pick up those final 2 frags by the way they lined up on that T side. It just reminded me of, if you guys forgot any StarCraft 2 fans in the chat here, Day 9 with this classic line them up when you get the SCVs or the workers on the mineral line just getting absolutely toasted. But anyhow, different game here. Silent picks up the first frag as Justin will get the second. So a great start to this round as things just falling completely apart. Roberts, he's able to move up from underpass, that he gets a freebie, and now a fully blind. Oh, I thought he was going to get Fabian as well. Sin was fully blind, so he couldn't help out and support, but Fabian will be able to get that frag and takes no damage. And they're going to head into this B site, for Ellie is waiting here. And if he goes down, they might be able to get this bomb down. Does have a smoke to potentially plant it in, but no, it's going to be Adwait coming in with the help. And a 6-0 scoreline, especially when you pick the map. This T side is not looking good from DwG at all. Or should I say, Fenix Fire is looking pretty much unstoppable on their CT side as well. So probably a bit of a combination of both here. But definitely, DwG, they need to come up with something, as they're going to go for the Tech 9 play here.
And it was just a matter of time before we saw it happen. It's become so prevalent in CS in general. Definitely in the pro scene, you see a lot of teams doing it. Silent aggressive on Palace. Might get taken out here, and he does. Fable's picking up the AWP thanks to the Tech 9. Justin and Adwait, though, shut that down. 2 kills for each of them. So even though they lost that off, they should be able to find it again, and they do. Adwait does pick it up. So not exactly a great eco round there from DwG. This is starting to get out of control here. If DwG doesn't start putting rounds on the board, we could be looking at like a 12-3 or a 13-2. And even though this map is CT-sided, you definitely want to get that 5-round line. Anything above that is great. Anything below that makes it pretty tough to make the comeback on the CT side, because this is all about those smoke plays, and we've seen it already on the A site. We haven't really seen it on B yet. So, I mean, this map, you can definitely make a strong T side if you know the grenades.
Certainly, grenades very key on, especially Mirage. You need to have those down. So Silent is going to take down Salmo. It's a 3v5, as looks like even the T's don't really know where they're going. They've got one up at Palace. That's going to be Fabulous. Fabian does have the bomb near a ramp, but being that they still have the man in Sin, he's just watching Connector very passively. And we can see from our point of view, it's not really working out here. Fabulous is going to be the only one near this A site. The bomb's been dropped as Fabian goes down. So Fabulous will wait for Sin. But this is going to be very difficult as, again, the CT's literally sitting on top of the bomb. They're actually going to get aggressive inside of Palace. And Fabulous might be able to take advantage of this as actually Silent goes down as well. And this could be the downfall of Fenix Fire, as no, Fabulous will go down. And he's jumping around with his knife out. That is never a good thing. Yeah. Obviously, he wants to get up close to peek as quickly as possible, but being that the bomb was down at a ramp, you kind of got to suspect that there's going to be a lot of CTs hiding around that location. But Fenix Fire with 8 rounds on the board. DwG, they still have, Robbie has 1 frag right now. Fabulous has 2. Fabulous had 25, I think, at the end of the first map. So definitely some players need to wake up on the T side if they're going to have any chance at all. Already 8 rounds on the board for Fenix.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to get out of control. This is the round where DwG has to put something down, because if they don't do it soon, it's just going to become impossible. The money on the CT side is very good. They're going to be picking up a double op here. Silent and Ellie, both with AWPs in hand. Silent took some damage in mid, most likely from grenades. Goes for the peek on connector, can't find it. They're going to be boosting Robbie 1 into the window, so Robbie might be able to flank this off, and he is going to catch him with his pistol out. Gets the one, will not get the other one. Justin there for the trade out, so even though they took down the off, that's all they're going to do. Justin trying to spam through on the edge of the connector there. Ellie, though, peeking from Cat, takes out Fabulous. Sin's going to find Adwait's head. Justin taken out by Salmo, and now it's a 3v2 in favor of DwG, but these players are heavily damaged right now. Salmo on 22, Sin at 30. A single nade could take one of these players out, potentially both. Roberts is flanking from CT spawn, and Ellie still holding Cat with the AWP, trying to peek connector right now. Not really able to do a whole lot, but Roberts is going to have to come up big, and he does so far. Takes out Sin. Now it's a 1v, or a 2v2 for that matter. Salmo in sight, 22 HP. Fabian in connector with 2. Fabian's going to take down Ellie, and now it's down to Roberts. He's been big in this game thus far. He's going to peek around triple box, takes out the bomb, and now it's 20 seconds left on the clock. Roberts can play this clock if he so chooses to. Doesn't even matter. Gonna spot the head of Fabian. That's a big 3K for Fenix Fire. Taking round number 9. DwG really struggling to find their pace here on Mirage.
Yeah, that was a bit of an overkill there. We saw a headshot by Roberts. I believe the last player alive was on 2 HP or something like that. I believe it was Fabulous, but anyhow, we are going to see the 9th round for Fenix Fire. And I feel like this is kind of the issue with having, like, the way we do map picks, obviously, Fenix Fire, they picked that first map, or rather, other way around. Yeah, sorry, it is that way around. I'm getting as confused as you were when we were talking about this last map. So, Fenix Fire, they picked that first map, and because they were able to win it, they now move into the favorite side of, yeah, although it is DwG's map pick, it really does, momentum-wise, favor them because they're starting on that favorite side. You just continue that momentum, but obviously the flip side is the opposite. If they drop their map, you're moving into your enemy's map pick. So, 2 sides of that coin, but we're seeing the advantage for the CTs as all that momentum from winning that first map now carrying over Fenix on 9 rounds, and they've got so many picks in this round. It's only Fabulous left, as he will be able to get one onto Justin. He's trying to push out a Palace here, but Silent close in sight, and Roberts sending that nade up. Won't connect with it. That flash fully blind is Fabulous. This is looking a little bit bleak as he's got 35 seconds left on the clock, but all the CTs around, and Silent will end up connecting 10-0. A flawless scoreline here from Fenix Fire.
One of the things we had touched upon earlier is the smoke play on Mirage, and I want to clarify the point behind that. If you look at the A bomb site, the common points for CTs to cover are all choke points. So Ticket Booth is a choke point. Jungle is a choke point. Stairs are a choke point. So single smoke grenades can take that position away entirely. It forces the CTs to play in the site as opposed to playing back safe. So you can kind of push and you can take trades, which is what you want to do on the T side. That's not what DwG is doing, though. They're losing players every time they push, regardless of their smoke play. And you can see exactly the same thing happening here as Ellie picks off 2 players from window before finally being taken down. Justin's able to get 1, make it a 4v2. Sin and Fabulous left to try and clean things up. It's going to be a really hard round, but they've been continuing to push the issue over on A, and it's just not working. And when they push the issue on B, they just sort of jump out the window with Tech 9s in hand and try and get the bomb down. It's something I'm noticing as a whole for North America. There is like no execution for B. Everyone knows how to take A. You smoke those spots and you come out flashing. No one really knows what to do with B. They just kind of throw flashes over the wall and run out, and it never seems to work. I'd say based on the matches we watched, I'd say 70% of the rounds end up on the A bomb site. So DwG is going to have to try something here. Maybe try working that B bomb site with a legitimate push as opposed to just rushing out and trying to get frags.
Yeah, and I can't remember the team that did it, but it was one of our North American teams, but probably the only team that I've seen work a B-side strat. I'll get back to that point in just a moment as we do see all of these players coming out of A-ramp. Another A-side play with smokes, and right now they will be able to get 2 entry frags. Roberts only with 1. Ellie, though, peeks out, and he's going to get a double for himself. Justin still alive underneath the Palace, and Salmo in a 1v3, and Silent's going to come up behind him, finishes him with the 5-7. But as I was saying, I can't remember for the life of me which team it was, but they used 3 smokes to basically one right out by Van, one inside a site, and basically it was a diagonal cutoff of the site. So literally the one side was all in favor. They had all of the real estate on basically the apartment side, so they cleared that out, and they just split the site completely. So some creative play there, but definitely we don't see many teams utilize that. It's basically just, if we're going B, unless they're doing a split B from mid coming up arch as well as apps, it's really, we don't see a lot of creativity there. So this is going to be a B-side play, but once again, pretty much just flashbangs over. That is the name of the game here for the T side.
And it's kind of working as they do get one frag, but there is a man sitting in that smoke on balcony. That's Roberts. Roberts doesn't get spotted out. Sadly, with the off is going to come in and take down Fabian. Adwait connects onto Robbie1, and now it's Fabulous here. A 1v4 gets the first frag. He did come up with an impressive ace in the first game. Not going to happen here, though. So it seems like their T side just doesn't really make any sense, to be perfectly honest. I mean, the B rush is like we said, you can easily call it out when it's going to happen. There's flashes coming over. They might toss a smoke, but that's about it. They just try to bombard the site with speed. The A site, you can telegraph it so easily because you see the smoke grenades coming over. You know exactly what's happening, and if you know how to play this map and you know how to counter that, you can just push in towards firebox or push in towards triple box and just wait for the T's to come out and clean them up. We're going to see yet again another A execution here. Smoke grenades raining out into the site, but not entirely. They smoke off site, but nothing else there just yet. There's the smoke for stairs. No smoke on jungle or CT just yet. This is a little bit more interesting as they seem to lack all the necessary smoke grenades. Ellie's going to clean up two. Fabulous and Samo. Adwait did find Sin. Takes out Robbie1 and Fabian. Only one frag coming for the T's thanks to Robbie1 taking out Justin. So 14-0 right now. Fenix Fire just obliterating DwG on the map selection. And I'm starting to wonder why DwG even picked this map.
I'm thinking the same thing here because we saw a bit of a close map in Cash, obviously, but this is pure domination. Fenix Fire, they have not let up. We've got players with Silence only died 4 times in this whole half, and the frags completely distributed across the CT side. So Sin will be able to get the opening onto Justin, but can he go any further here? He will go down. Salmo and Fabian so lit. They do get a pick onto Adwait and actually one onto Silent as well. It is a 2v2 here, but one nade could spell defeat for this round. And oh, Kobe! He gets it! Ellie comes up big as they group up near Firebox. And that is going to be the round as Fenix Fire pick up a flawless half. 15-0. And we don't often see this kind of scoreline. I do believe we had in our EU matches. I think it was my KPV dropped to 16-0, but we don't usually see these kind of score lines as, to be honest, it's usually pretty close matches, but definitely DwG have not showed up to Mirage at all.
We've seen some games that, are very high in favor of one team, like 16-4, 16-5. Obviously, G2 did 16-0 KPV in our European leg, but that hasn't happened in North America yet, at least to my knowledge. I think the worst one we've seen in this tournament was actually 16-3. But in that match, it was like a higher-tiered P team, ESEA P team, versus a younger open team. So it was the kind of score you expected. The players on DwG, despite the fact that they are in open, they're talented players with years of experience. I mean, Robbie1 obviously used to play for Mythic. Fabulous and Sin, they used to play with the Rhythm lineup. I'm not so sure about Salmo. I think Fabian also has some invite experience in his past, maybe some main and premier as well. I mean, these guys know how to play. This shouldn't be a blowout. Everyone's saying, oh, they're an open team, this is to be expected. No, they're just a reform team. They're new, but they're not open players. So getting 15-0'd by Fenix Fire, definitely not a score I would have seen coming.
And we'll see if Fenix Fire can keep this flawless scoreline. They only need one to put it away. So, pistol round, could it be their time? As DwG, I imagine they just don't want to get 16-0'd. This comes down to pistol for some morale reasons overall, more than just obviously coming back on the CT side. It is their map pick. It's not like they're not trying. But Adwait takes down Robbie as they enter the site, and the smoke strat is going to work out at least from the beginning here. Fabian will get one. And pushing up, Salmo is getting aggressive. We'll take down Justin. We're going to see Sin try and push the smoke. Salmo with another one, so a 2v3 develops, and it's all up to ad weight as it will not be a flawless scoreline. DwG pick up pistol, and they're going to continue this match as anything's possible. They're fighting for overtime. It's going to need to be 15 in a row, but they pick up pistol.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years. We'll see if DwG can make this happen. I mean, this would be hands down the most insane comeback I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen a 14-1. That was Wusa versus Anonymous 5, I think it was. Or I think at the time they were calling themselves Old Guys or something like that. They were facing off on Nuke, and Wusa got 14-1 in the first half, and they actually came back and tied it. And then it went into, like, quadruple overtime. It was an insane game. This is not Nuke. This is Mirage, not quite as CT-sided. And right now, we'll see what Phoenix Fire can do. It would be a shame to see them win with the Tech 9 buy that's worked so well for them in the past. Sin's going to pick on 2 with the P90. There's Justin getting the first frag for the T's. Ellie there as well to take down Fabulous. Fabulous found the body of Justin, but now the bomb's going to get planted, and as soon as the bomb goes down, Adway dies. Fabian pushing into Market's going to spot out Roberts, and that's another round for DwG. They did pick up a couple frags on P90s, and they're not necessarily going to be too depressed about losing those. They kept their M4s and the scout on Robbie 1. So that's going to be 15-2, and even if they lose this at this point, if they can put like 5-6 rounds on the board, at least they can save face. They won't feel as bad, but everyone's going to remember the fact that this started out as a 15-0. So even though the final score might say that it was a close game, getting 15-0'd, you're not going to shake that one off. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to affect a team like DwG moving forward, if they're going to, you know, sort of start to fall apart at the seams like you see with a lot of teams. Hopefully that doesn't happen, as they show a lot of promise with a lot of talented players on their roster.
Yeah, completely agree. You got to come back from something like this. You can't just, like, all right, well, guys, we had a good run. We're done here. Definitely, they should keep at her. Just study the tapes. Study the tape. But Tech 9 rush onto B. It's going to be a full armor buy as well. And 2 frags to their name. That is going to be a great opening, as we do see very quickly coming up through market. It's going to be Fabian and Salmo. Coming from Cat is Robbie. So Robbie already taken one to the head, but long distance. But we are going to see 2 frags in the favor of the CTs, making it a 3v2, and Salmo getting pushed here, and that's going to be the round. The Tech 9 buy. What a round to end on, right? The Tech 9 armor buy